Hello, boa noite. Munson here. Oh, look at that. I've just spent the last 10 minutes trying to sort out the studio here. And you can see that I'm clearly not Louisa at Feel Good Astrology. But I'll change that in just a moment. I'll start welcoming those gentlemen. And I use the term loosely. It's up to them to prove it. Handsome is as handsome does tonight. Let me first introduce to you the old timer of the piece. I mean, not because you're old, Joel, but because you've been doing this right from the start, pretty much. Good evening to you in northern Portugal tonight, Joel. How are you?
Boa noite.
A legendary start. And Douglas, everybody. Doug is here tonight, joining us from Wales of the United Kingdom. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're
Good night,
pretty
Joel.
good. Interesting
Good
day.
night. Well, like Louise.
Yeah, I'm going to change that now. Interesting day interesting couple of days in the UK, right? You've had elections over there. How's that going, Doug?
As expected, I think. No great surprises anywhere. No.
Polar shifts, right?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. You know how it is. I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's Labour have done badly in a couple of in most places, haven't they? And the SNP are doing less well than they thought, and so I think it'll all come clear as the hours wear on.
And did Sadiq Khan remake himself the the Lord Mayor of London?
Probably, but he was very likely to win. But the gospel truth is, I don't know. I haven't been glued to the television as I thought I might be. But no.
Yes, there's a kind of fatigue about it as well. I have been interested in UK politics, but I haven't been that bothered to find out.
Well, there you
go. Stephen Wells is saying, good evening, Louisa. Yes, very funny, Stephen. I've changed it now. Jordinja. Hola, Turush. Good evening to you, Jordinja. Excellent attendance rate. Colin's here. He's going to love your car presentation. He's a motors mad man.
Colin is.
Yeah, Colin will be chipping in with some comments, and let's put the while I remember, let's put the link into the comments so that Colin can attempt to join us. All you have to do, Colin.
Everyone is welcome to attempt.
Absolutely, just click on that link and join us. And Jordan just says, Joel's world-weary, withering look makes my night every time. He's here every Friday to do that for you. Yeah,
I do it for free.
I love it as well, I have to say. Boa noite, gentlemen. Glad to be in your company this evening. Eric J. Do you want to be on the screen? Do you know what to do? It was great to have you on the screen last week when we were trying to... Was it last week when we did the beer? Only last week?
It was last week.
Wow.
Have you already forgotten?
Well, I'm still drinking my favourite, and I've got brewed in Portugal, Pausa beer, a honey porter to try tonight. Boa noite a todos from Steve. Hey, Steve. Great to have your company. Nubianet is here in California. Everyone is dude. Hee. Good evening, dude. I think I might have missed a comment earlier on. Todd Jones. Hello a todos. Good evening to you, Todd. Great to have your company. And Kent. Hello, Kent. Hola, boa noite. Probably sipping on a Portuguese wine, I suspect, this evening to get in the mood. Let us know what you're drinking, how your week has been. Oh, Rachel's here, but not Frank. That's interesting. Hello, gents, says Rachel. Frank's probably getting ready.
Good evening, Rachel.
Andrew Gilchrist. Hola, gentlemen.
Sorry.
Good evening.
Jimmy Cohn's supposed to be on.
Jimmy's just sorry, everybody. I've already just taken your name off the screen. I was Louisa at Feel Good Astrology for a little while, much to some people's amusement. Jimmy's. See if you can guess what we're talking about. Jimmy's cone can stay off for the time being.
Okay.
Nice to see you.
Oh, the cone of shame.
The cone of shame. Yes, your milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Thank you. Yeah, everyone can see what you're doing. Hello, gentlemen from Andrew Gilchrist. Milk. Ian Turner. Benoit Carl Iturush. Looking forward to talking car business tonight, says Ian. She's really, what's the expression for? Sledging me, is that right? Hazing me when I'm trying. I never do this while you're doing your astrology.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes, fair enough. Typical Sagittarius.
Look at the positive thing. You are among us three currently. You are the only one that has been felt by the boots.
That's true. Yeah. I guess, that there's a silver lining to that somewhere, isn't there? A little bit humiliating in public like that. But anyway, I need to try some pausa, says Andrew Gilchrist. You do. Mark Gardner's your man, and it is amazing pausa empire that's growing. Frank is having his beauty shower.
Well, at least he'll smell nice when he does come on.
Yeah, and that's going to take quite a long time.
At least thank for not having smell-o-vision.
Yeah, because the dog's just walked in as well. Lol.
Yeah, mine is like yours. Mine is also had the
the cone on as well.
yeah.
Is it the time of year in Portugal when dogs grow those things? Is it?
Yeah, that's right.
Mine was anus infection.
Oh, so stop him licking his you-know-what?
Did you just say anus infection?
Yes, I did.
Wow.
And exactly what happened to him. It was an anus infection.
Yeah, I mean, you're saying it like it is, and I can't help smirking a little bit. And I'm sorry for your dog, but anus infection just sounds funny to me.
Sounds painful to me, Carl.
He scratched too much his ass. Now he's got the cone because of it.
Same. Yes, this is the same with Jimmy, but it wasn't quite the anus. It was the not the perineum going up a bit.
Yeah, it was that.
At the top of the tail, you know, where they can't get to the fleas, and then the fleas bit him, and then it got him. Anyway, anuses, fleas, infections, fantastic! What a great start to the show tonight. We'll get. Look at this! Hold on, we've got loads of gentlemen to add to the screen. Right?
Wow!
Talking of anus infections, here they are. Colin, Eric J, Garbo.
Did somebody say anus?
Yeah, because of that I got scared when I see you.
Brilliant. George just says, we'll find out how you are in a minute, fellas. I found somewhere that sells Superbot within 5 minutes walk from where I live. A 4-pack has already been dealt with. Yes. Show it who's boss, Jordan. Andrew, scratch and sniff. Yeah. That's that is what's been happening here. Denise, we're getting into the car talk. And talking of anus, as we were, posh people, I heard of this very hilarious story of somebody telling someone else that they were in the MG. I'm in the MG Anus Club. What? I'm in the MG Anus Club. Oh, the MG Owners Club. I see. It was just so posh it came out as anus. I suspect Doug has been in the MG Anus Club. Am I right, Doug?
No, I've never been in the MG Anus Club at all. I've been in the Volvo Anus Club. Yeah.
That's even funnier.
I've been in the shit a few times, but everything else.
Oh, my word. Garbo, clean shaven as well.
Yes, I've got rid of it.
Looks 10 years younger, doesn't he, chap?
What's that, Joe?
I've heard there is a moist and dark place, so I don't go to that anus groups.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up. Good evening, Colin, Eric, and Garbo have just joined us. Gary, you don't look old enough to have had a 30th wedding anniversary today. Honestly, look at you. You look.
Yes. Congrats, Garbo.
Let's find out.
Hola, Frank.
And Frank's here as well. So,
Yeah.
Colin, how are you? And please, could you introduce?
Oh, Joel! Don't show your dismay like that, Joel. Greet me with a smile. I love you too, brother.
Colin, over to you. Let's introduce you into the man cave.
Yeah, who's this guy in the middle with the binoculars?
That's good evening. That's how Frank says good evening. How are you?
Hey, how you doing, Colin?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
I was an MG Owners Club member because I had to be to take part in the MGB V8 Racing Championship.
Oh, Racing Championship. This is going to be good tonight, isn't it? Oh, look at
Nice
this.
sail, chap. Yeah, jolly good. First class.
Oh, the doc is here.
Hey,
Doc.
boys.
Hey, Doc, from time to time, you're not French, you know that. From time to time, it's good to take a shower and change a T-shirt, you know.
I was a bit the worse for wear after last night, and I had a hell of a day today. I ended up falling off my wheelchair down at San Pedro de Moel, where we went to enjoy the weather. It's all very well laughing, but you haven't seen.
We're not laughing
No,
at you.
no, I was laughing at the
Yeah, of course we weren't laughing. So,
We weren't laughing at you.
I was laughing at you, Doc.
I'm laughing with you, Doc. Where's Leona? Leona's not right next to you. Do you know why she's not right next to you? Because you stink right now.
she's here, but she's not coming on screen. I don't think she is anyway.
The poor guy has had a spell today. Tell us more about it, Doc. So were you hurt?
Well, I banged my head and grazed my elbow, and I had to do a bit of mechanics on the wheelchair, but everything's cool now.
My goodness. And did
It's all
everyone
good?
did everybody come to your aid?
Well, no, it was fairly deserted down there. We went down against the owner's better judgment. I went down a steep bubbled slope and then tried to get back up it on the chair. And my chair's an adapted Segway, so it has two wheels. And I was going up backwards because you can't go up steep slopes forward. And it lost traction and spilled me. And cracked my head on the wall, and
Oh, dear.
it was interesting. There was no one around, so Leona helped me up, and we eventually managed to get the chair up the slope. And there we are, and here I am.
Well, we're glad to have you in one piece. You shouldn't
Doc,
have.
I'm so happy to see you. Thanks for making me feel bad now. You suck too.
Yeah.
That's okay, Frank. Anytime.
It's been quite a rambunctious start tonight. The band's showing up in the comments here. Look at this. Ready to order some gear, Frank. I'm gonna
Only
have to
5 grand.
How many grams?
only five. Boa noite. I don't even know what they're talking about. Boa noite de Telemais Linda from Portugal. João Gloria is here as well. And Denise says, Denise, and the two Denises are talking about cars already. My first car was a light blue Ford Anglia called Gerald, obviously. And the other Denise says, I can't wait to buy my first car in Portugal this fall. Do I buy a sports car or a practical van?
Depends
very
on the taste, and depends on what she wants to do with the car. If she wants just for a weekend cruise, then the sports car, a classic sports car, would be the most fun and enjoyable thing to purchase.
Okay, or buy a Mini Clubman and you can have best of both worlds.
Okay.
The way Portuguese roads are, I'd say get the van.
Okay. All right. Now it's going to get noisy on here. I've got no problem with so many fellas on the screen, and it makes it for an amazing sight. Actually, Eric, we haven't heard from you yet tonight, but this is amazing to have so many guys on the screen. How are you, Eric?
I'm doing well.
Good.
I hope you guys are, and congrats to Garbo. I think we should raise a glass.
Oh yeah, we should raise a glass.
For that 30th wedding anniversary.
Yes, here we go.
Garvo, you're kind of looking. Garvo, I gotta say, I gotta pay you a compliment, man. You're kind of looking sexy today. There's a spark to you. Yeah,
I love you too,
look
Frank.
like you look like
no tones tonight. Okay.
you look like you got some today.
Yeah, I've got some cream for that. Just to say that, guys, while I can, thanks everybody for sending all some wonderful messages. Had a beautiful day. Really enjoyed it. Excellent. Couldn't have made it better. So thank you, guys, everybody.
Excellent. How lovely. Excellent.
Truth be told, I'll be celebrating my 24th wedding anniversary on Monday.
Oh, nice one, man.
Beautiful.
That's
Monday.
That's got to be worth the cheers.
Yep. Cheers to you. Well done.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay. Is there anybody we haven't really said? Oh, Carlos, of course. Good evening.
Carlos.
Hi all.
How are you?
Very well, thank you. So
Good.
You are newbies, okay? I'm married for 23 years and I dated for 9 before that.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes,
So-
you're just ahead of Gary there, possibly, aren't you?
Yeah.
With the total there, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. But
My total is 31.
Yeah.
Wow, proper veterans here.
Wow. That's
What's the secret, chaps? Younger men need to know. What's the secret?
Oh, I'm young. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, but we've done the math. Okay, if you've been married for dating for 31 years,
I start dating when I was 17.
Oh, okay.
So I'm
Oh,
49.
nice.
I'm 49 now.
Okay. All right. Now, I'm not saying you're ancient or anything like that, but clearly you've got some advice to give to the younger fellas starting
Yeah.
off on that road, right?
Just respect the girl and let her do what she wants, and always say yes.
Okay. All right.
Carlos, is your wife watching by any chance?
Yeah. She doesn't care.
Precisely.
That's the
Precisely.
secret. That's the secret. She doesn't care.
36 years married.
So
32 years.
Yeah.
You only get 14 years for murder.
yeah.
Thank you, Colin.
Yeah.
Eric, what's your secret?
The secret is 3 phrases. Yes, dear. No, dear. I'm sorry, dear. But the key is knowing when to use each phrase in the proper time.
Yes, because if you just come straight out with a sorry, dear, it's obviously you haven't been listening, right? Yes.
So that's the key.
So
this is why Eric is such a rock star. He's always got these comments he puts on, and it's always the guy knows exactly what. Eric, is your wife watching too?
No,
All right.
I don't think so.
I don't think so. There are informants. It's a bit like the kind of the women's CIA or something is at work here, and word gets back to people miraculously. So just beware of that. Is all I would say right now. Carlos is getting a bollocking now. Look.
Oh yeah, he's getting a proper bollocking.
Should we enjoy that?
She's telling him.
Yeah. Here we go. Look.
You forgot my falafels today. What's wrong with you?
Who said what,
Look
you
at him.
bastard?
He's like, I'm sorry, darling.
Yes,
I
dear.
really.
Oh dear. Yes, dear.
He won't sell it to me.
Shove that microphone up your nose.
He wouldn't sell it to me, baby.
We may have to use all 3.
Everybody's got really tall wives.
Yeah, that's Carl. That's Carl from last week.
Oh, that was superb. Okay. Doug has very kindly offered, because this is Joel's idea, to look at movies with motors in. So there's definitely that angle, isn't there? Great films with cars in, like Herbie, and and also then Doug stepped in, because Doug has owned about 300 cars. This presentation shouldn't take too long, right, Doug?
Shouldn't do. Have you got it ready to go? Your end, have you?
I'm trying to get it up as we speak.
All right.
Wow.
We heard that before, Carl. That's why you keep getting the Viagra adverts on your Facebook.
No, it's
Oh
not.
yeah, that's one of the reasons. I told him a long time ago. Stop it, Carl. Stop looking at those pictures.
I'm an alternative, holistic kind of guy. If I was ever to need that, I would go for the horny goat weed and go natural, I think. But not that I have ever needed to touch wood, so to speak. Now, where's this?
It's coming down to farm animals. This is horrible.
It's not looking good, is it?
Horny
No,
goat
it's
weed, I'll have you know, is a herbal supplement, as I'm sure the doc would attest to my.
Doc is not going to attest to anything. Doc, don't shake your head. I swear to God, don't encourage this behavior.
Frank,
You know that a test and testicle have the same verbal root, don't you?
go on. Why is that? How did that happen?
Well, in Roman times, in order to, it was like when they were saying, honestly, I'm telling the truth, they grabbed their testicles as a sign that they were.
Yes, I'm telling the truth.
A testicle have the same verbal root.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Was it true, Doc? Was it true? And they're talking about Viagra while we're at it, that it was developed as a heart pressure, blood pressure treatment, or something to do with heart.
The research was for blood pressure, but because of its effect on the blood vessels, it had this useful side effect that they ended up capitalizing on.
Can you imagine the test on that? It was like, oh.
What, on a lab rat? These lab rats are walking funny.
Is your blood pressure dropping, or are you just pleased to see me? That was the standard line in the.
A lab rat would pole vault, wouldn't it?
Yes, indeed. It will get stuck in the bars or something like that.
Mm.
Like, doctor, I don't understand it. These lab rats are behaving very strangely. Let's have a look at this presentation. This is fabulous, Doug, by the way. Gentlemen, it might be useful to mute up while Doug is doing this.
Well, why don't you show them sort of slowly and everybody sort of put their few comments as we're going along, because I'm sure that each car will basically sort of bring forth memories for each person.
Now, do you actually have a classic car garage? Is that why it's called? Is that why the presentation is called this?
No, that was just somebody being facetious. I was in a classic car show, and somebody made that for me. That particular piece of artwork there.
Very good. Okay. Yeah. And an excellent caricature of yourself there. Okay, so we're into the first one here. That's a fabulous lineup, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they don't all belong to me. The only one that belongs to me is the one closest. That's little 13 GT. Yeah, which I've still got.
Have you really? That's a beautiful. Is that called Montego Beige?
No, this one's called Bronze Yellow. Bronze Yellow, that one.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be Coleman's.
Yeah, it was mustardy, isn't it? And the guy next to me, he that's a TR6 next to me. I'm sure that's a TVR after that, isn't it? And an old Rolls Royce Silver Spirit.
Yeah, I'm surprised to see a red DB5.
Yeah, that car's been completely restored, but built from scratch by the guy who owns it, an elderly chap. It was nothing but a pile of junk when he bought it, and he's totally restored that.
Yeah, but still, right? Yeah, it doesn't feel right for that car.
No.
Well, Joel knows his cars, doesn't he? Now look at the simplicity of this.
Yeah.
There wasn't just to take off a curiosity I have. Wasn't this the one that replaced the A40?
I think it was actually the project was called an A016, and they brought out a lot of 1100s, 1300s, Wolsleys, MGs, didn't they? And this was the 1300 GT.
My family had both. My grandfather had the A40, the Mark II Farina Countryman, and my bastard uncle had the model.
Same engine, Joel. The little A series.
Yeah, I wish I could laid my hands on one of the A40s, because that's one car from my childhood that I wish my grandfather would have kept, even though the car needed restoration. He sold it 1 year before I took my driver's license.
You are so not over that, are you?
Yeah, he's not. That uncle.
That would be for me the one of the, if I have the money, for example, if I won the lottery or something like that, would be one of the first to put on my collection garage. Will be the first one to acquire.
They were cute little cars, the A40s.
Yeah, they did the BTCC back in the day, as far as I know of history of the Austins. They also did rallies. They tend to.
Oh, look at this guy!
Amazing.
Yeah, and that was not the racing history attached to the brand, but more of the fact that it was a car of the family, even though I know it is impossible to get that same car back again, because I'm sure he went to the junkyard.
Oh dear. Okay, Joe, I don't know what to say.
I don't know. Bastard uncle.
Yeah. Yes.
That engine looks about as simple as my first motorbike engine, which was an MZ.
Most of those were I mean, the beauty of these things is if ever it did go wrong, you'd know what was wrong with it. And basically it was simple and very accessible to do your own DIY maintenance as well.
Yeah. Them twin carbs took a bit of balancing sometimes, though.
Yeah,
absolutely, Garvo. They certainly did.
These were front. This model was front wheel drive, if I'm not mistaken. The A40 was rear-wheel drive, which were
It was,
more
yeah,
fun.
it was.
Yeah, this was front wheel drive. Those carburetors there were fitted by a guy who specializes in those sorts of things, and I've never touched them. Just don't touch.
No.
Leave them be.
This is, I mean, it's immaculate, Doug. So you took it back and resprayed this, did you? Or is that
No, I bought it already done.
really?
Yeah.
And this is that the solenoid there? Because on my Austin Maxi, I had a hammer in my car so I could hit the solenoid.
Yeah, painted in gold there. Yeah.
Okay, amazing, beautiful, beautiful engine. And is this rocking the modern hydroelastic suspension as well?
Yeah, this one's got the hydroelastic suspension. This one, yeah, it does actually.
Amazing. Okay. And
Oh, look at this! What a show!
Oh, yes, sir.
the 80s now, right?
This is 1984 Volvo 740 GLT. This is the first one they brought to this country with a 4-cylinder engine in it. Before that, there were 6.
I like to call Volvos the cheap army's military vehicles.
Yeah. I've still got this one as well.
Have you really? What a lovely colour that is as well.
Yeah.
If my brother would see this now, he'd be doing his fruit because he loves those.
He is here. Terence is here tonight.
Oh, there you go. There we go.
Somebody's shuffling quite a bit. I'm going to mute up a few microphones. Somebody's getting very excited about the cars, I think, this evening.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't
That's a labour of love. I had to completely restore that engine bay. It was filthy when I bought it.
a friend of mine that has a mechanic shop here in Matosinhos. He's modifying a 124, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, an Amazon.
1974.
Beautiful car.
He's putting 16-inch rims on it and everything else.
Oh, wow.
Actually, my first car was used. It was a 1969 Volvo 142S.
Oh, beautiful. 2-door.
No, 4-door.
Was it?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
And when I bought it, it was probably 18 years old.
Wow.
I paid $400 for it.
I'll bet it, and it did you pretty well, I'm sure.
It did.
Yeah, they don't go wrong.
Pretty much bulletproof.
They are, Joel. Absolutely.
Yeah.
These Volvos kind of look like the Lada.
It's because they use Renault engines.
What did you say, Frank? I missed that.
They kind of look like, you know, the Russian Lada, because I've driven a Lada before.
I've driven a Lada as well. They're not as bad.
Ladas are based on Fiat 124.
Oh, they're based on Fiat? Okay.
Yeah,
Ladas are based on Fiat 124.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a few comments to catch up with, lads. Headphones are the trick for blocking out the misses. I don't know what you're talking about. Yes, Eric. Leslie and I have an arrangement. She's always right, and it's always my fault. Very good. For the younger men, we are painting quite a grim picture here, fellas. Carlos, we'll take you with the dough roll on the head. Joao Gloria.
Oh.
What does that mean?
Never.
What is a dough roll on the head? Is that from my wife?
Rolling pin. It's a rolling pin.
Oh, okay.
Rolling pin.
Joao's giving him a bit of answer, I think.
Why the violence? Why the violence, boys?
Could he? Like 3 days in the Algarve, and you turned into a complete hippie.
Yeah, of course.
Why the violence?
Love.
Peace and love, man. Good evening from Carolina. I beg your pardon. Stephen Davis, curious. Do you guys know each other off screen? I'm not sure if that's safe, really, Stephen, but with some of us do. Where is everyone? We're in Florida. So quick kind of roll call, location, shout out, please. Let's go around as you see it on the screen. Joel? Matosinhos. Douglas?
United Kingdom.
Colin?
Ribamar, which is near Ericeira.
Oh, I love Ericeira.
Gavo, you can see on the screen from Alviagra.
Alviagra, Central Portugal.
There you go. Eric J.
Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte, North Carolina. Frank.
Oh, nice. Coimbra.
But just recently back from the Algarve and looking sun-kissed and feeling full of peace and love. Andy the Doc.
Leiria, Central Portugal.
Leiria, Alegria. And Carlos, I think near the capital?
No, Faro.
Oh, you're in Faro. Okay.
Yeah.
So I beg your pardon. All right. So
That was a bit like University Challenge, wasn't it?
Well, it looks like University Challenge, doesn't it, on the screen here?
Yes, doesn't it?
Your starter for 10, gentlemen. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. My first car was a Calibra. Is that a Toyota Calibra?
Vauxhall.
Vauxhall. Yeah, Vauxhall Calibra.
Vauxhall.
Proper bloke's night tonight, isn't it? Andrew says he restored a 1973 Mark II Stag, a big bonnet car. We'll go into whether it's true what they said about big bonnets, I think, later on. And a Series 388 Land Rover. I hope I'm saying that okay. I want a Portuguese UMM project. Gentlemen, what is a UMM project?
Yeah,
The best Jeep in the world.
There is a Portuguese-made Jeep based on a French prototype vehicle, off-road vehicle that was supposed to be sold to the French military, but French military refused it and ended up being a project made by a Portuguese company, União Metalúrgica. I don't remember the rest of the name.
Yeah, the French rejected it because it didn't go fast enough in reverse.
Yeah. Wait. Here's the pun. The UMM used a Peugeot engine, so it was supposed to go faster on reverse.
Yeah, but
So Joel, is it a UMM or is it a
UMM?
no, it's a UMM. It's the best Jeep, unless you have a Land Rover.
I will
really?
share on Facebook.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Come on, boys.
There it is.
This is a girly car. Come on. What is this? This is a
No,
disgrace.
it goes everywhere.
Even the Bombeiros use those.
Never on your lifetime. It is a girly car. Carl, I sent to the Manca Facebook picture.
All right. Can we see one of these cars like in big? This is like it probably like
For those that don't know,
even the bonnet is not proper. Who's this?
This Jeep is still in use.
He's got nice legs.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice legs.
It's still
Is
in
that
use
you,
in police forces in Portugal. It's still in use in the military, some vehicles. There was a prototype that had a fixed, if I'm not mistaken, 8.8 millimeter gun on it.
What?
Yeah,
Useful in car parks.
I formatted the pen when I had it. But
this kind of violence.
There was a prototype mounted gun on that Jeep.
Almost every Portuguese farmer had one of these, because it did everything and it never broke down. It never breaks down.
Yeah, pretty good actually.
And for a girly car, like you like to say, Frank, this baby went and do Paris-Dakar.
Yeah, without breaking.
Did Paris-Dakar, the rally that you always
Paris-Dakar, Frank.
Oh, Paris-Dakar. It did Paris to Dakar.
Paris-Dakar.
That's good. That's good. That's good. I would have liked to have gotten
Watch my mouth. Joel, watch my mouth. You need that pronunciation. Paris-Dakar. Paris-Dakar.
Look at
Paris-Dakar.
Look at pretty boy over there.
Oh, see, tell you what, it's so good to get my own back.
Right. Okay. Just catch up in the comments and we'll go back to Doug's fabulous presentation. Austin 1300, famous for rotting floor pans.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
You can't.
that was a common thing on British cars.
They used a preparation called Z-Bart. And if you had it, you remember that?
I do. Yeah. I
remember looking at the raising the floor, the carpet on the floor on the passenger side of my grandfather's car and see
I remember plastic padding.
and was holes like this big for the rubber grommets for water to escape.
I remember using plastic padding to fix cars, floor pans like that.
Yep. Good tip. Alternatively, newspaper.
So it was you then, was it, you the bastard?
Yes, we brought a car up him. And yeah, I mean that's a good name for a car, isn't it? The Dock. Sawdust in the gearbox and plastic padding on the floor. I would say put newspaper and Hammerite. Sheets of newspaper and just flood it with Hammerite. Good as gold.
It's just early plastic surgery at the end of the day.
Colin, you need to unmute yourself.
Oh, can you not hear me?
No, Colin is muted.
Oh, okay.
I want to tell you a story about my first car. It was
Go on.
Okay.
a frog-eyed Sprite.
Oh, nice.
It was a 1959 car. I bought it in 1967, and I had to completely rebuild it. It had rotten floors, everything. So that's 8 years later. That's how bad the metal was.
I thought you were going to tell us that car there.
I kept it really, but
yeah, it'd be great driving around the coast of Portugal in that. It'd look amazing. I suspect right now. Cut a dash.
It's funny how Andrew Gilchrist said British Leyland quality there. Sorry. Most cars.
What's your next car, Doug? What's your next car, Doug?
I don't. I can't remember what I put. I mean, the presentation is in the hands of our host and master there. So
hold on, because we've got.
Oh, he's been called out.
Oh, here comes the comments fascist again.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
the A series rock solid. Yeah.
I've got a mute button as well. The A series engine is rock solid, although not without its issues. The Volvo 240, legendary red block engine to the moon and back mileage, says Terence. Lovely Volvo, says Diffie. Diffie's on for.
Hello, John. Got a new Volvo.
Diffie.
A bright red Volvo. 240 with American headlights looks so funky, says Terence. Sorry, Volvo. A typo, obviously. Cool as, says Andrew. I'm not sure what we were talking about there, though. It might have been the Jeeps, I think. My first car was a Mark I Honda Prelude, says Leona. Electric sunroof. Now, it's very interesting how women describe their cars, isn't it? It's often the colour and a feature, like an electric sunroof, if we're going into sort of gender stereotyping here, which we occasionally do. Yep. Glausio D, but thank you for that, Leona. Good night from sunny Minnesota. Sorry I'm late. It's okay. I want to congratulate Gary and Carl for their wedding anniversary. Oh, okay. We are separate wedding anniversaries, I see. And check if Frank finished tidying up Peggy's kitchen. Did you tidy up Peggy's kitchen?
No, Dave did this morning. As he was cleaning up the kitchen, he was telling me, Frank, whatever. And I go, you know what, Dave? It's the problem is these days you can't get reliable help. What kind of help has Peggy married? What's wrong with you? And then he goes to me, this is exactly how I get treated in this house. I go, this is exactly it. I like it. And then he just did a spectacular job on the stove. Dave is really good. He's very good help. I told Peggy, I go, you should keep this one.
Yep, it's to Dave and to Prosecco Peggy tonight. And thank you, Glausio, for your congratulations on our respective wedding anniversaries there. I thought you were making a joke that me and Gary were married. Does look like it sometimes, doesn't it?
It does. It's just both of you, especially when Gary had his goatee. You guys would have made a beautiful couple.
Absolutely nobody is looking at this car, Joel. You threw a leggy blonde in the pic. That says Diffie. Yeah, what car? But wait, I've booked my flight into. Yes, the flights are happening, aren't they? We're on the green list in the UK. Yeah, interesting. We may come back to that because we've got a lovely presentation.
Make sure you know where to get your PCR test before you go back.
Are you doing that, Doc, for people?
Well, I haven't looked at it yet, but I guess I could play around with it.
Only the rectal ones.
They're cheap.
Photoshop's very good with certificates.
Just a little tip there from the Doc. But I've booked my flight into Porto, 2nd of June, for a lightning 4-night property viewing trip. Adrian, good luck with that. If you've got time for a beer in Matosinhos, I'm sure Joe will happily receive you. British Leyland quality. It was a joke of the world, wasn't it? But notwithstanding some amazing...
They pass more time on strikes than actually building cars.
That's Gary's lot. Question for you, Man Cave motor experts. What's the difference between a Hedgehog and a Range Rover?
God, I know this.
The Hedgehog punches tires and Range Rover loses the differential fluids.
That's not funny. Is that a joke or? Well, that's
I know the answer to this one.
That's actually a.
Come on, then, Doug. Come on,
Doug.
What's the difference between a Hedgehog and a Range Rover?
Yeah.
Go on. What is it?
Well, the pricks are on the outside of a Hedgehog.
Hey!
Whee.
I love this. This is beautiful.
Thank you, Paul. Chicken wire and filler. Yes, another great tip
Yeah,
tonight.
nice one.
Yeah.
Saw that one.
British Leyland is the reason why Britain doesn't have a motor industry anymore.
No,
Uh,
no.
English.
No, not now. Sorry to butt into the car conversation. Does anyone know anything about an area called Albureira Jardim? The actual address.
Albufeira.
If somebody gives someone's address out, you haven't needed to tennis. You fly into Firo Air. I've got a feeling that Mairead, there's a few typos in there.
It could be that guy off from Hello Hello.
It does. Well,
Yeah, Fido in the Fido Airport.
PM, go on the forum with that one, Mairead. There will be somebody on the Expats Portugal forum who will know that those premises, I suspect. Fiats and Alphas rotted worst in the 70s. Yeah,
Yeah,
didn't
they
even
did.
have an Alpha to use.
And Vauxhalls the same.
Everything rotted in the 70s.
Yeah. My first car was a Toyota Corolla from
Yeah,
1974.
you're probably right, Doug. You're probably
I
right.
had to rebuild it. Like 60%, it was fiberglass in the end.
Yeah.
Okay,
They called it Cobley.
Cobley. Is Frank in a closet? This is not a sexuality question. This is a sound quality, it's an acoustics question, I think.
It is. I am in the closet. It works both ways. But I'm out right now.
Okay, very open-minded. Doc, I have a few people I could recommend for your rectal test. That's Terence. I think that's probably.
I don't do rectal.
It's that alcohol gel that really stings.
Hold on. I think we should just. Doc wants to make it very clear about this. Doc, do you want to say that again?
Yeah, I definitely am not interested in doing rectal tests.
There you go, on the record. That was a bit like Bill Clinton, though, wasn't it? I did not have sex with that woman.
So we believe you, Doc.
Have you ever done any rectal tests? Like, have you ever any does Freddie get fingered kind of stuff? No.
Of course, yeah. When men came in with prostatic symptoms, of course I had to do that.
Oh, okay, all right. And were some of them kind of shy? Like, was it always like a very pleasant experience? Did some of them actually enjoy it?
I don't know, because they always had their back to me when I was actually performing a test.
He's not going to ask him, is he, Frank? He's not going to say, everything seems all right.
Enjoy that, yeah.
You enjoy that? You're not going to ask that. I mean, it's literally the man cave, though, isn't it? To be fair. So back.
If you guys don't mind, I have a small thing to point at.
Oh, yeah.
Gary, you remember
that?
Yeah, no, it's not that kind of a point. You asked me about that. You asked me about the price of that car I posted on my Facebook page. The owner and seller of that car has posted the price. Below the answer.
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. What is this stately home, please, Doug?
That's Thorsby Hall in Sherwood Forest.
I thought that was Doug's house.
Yeah, no.
It's a castle, right?
I needed to store all the cars.
Is that your weekend retreat, Doug?
My weekend retreat, indeed.
Labour Party headquarters.
That's
Okay.
it. Jeremy Corbyn's bedroom is the one above the front door.
Actually,
easy.
I remember the Unite had a restaurant down in and it looked something like that.
Sorry, I've just seen a comment. Coming soon. Doc's no hands rectal. When he puts his hands on your shoulders and says,
brace yourself, lad, brace yourself.
oh dear. Okay, back to the cars, please, Doug.
Luke, I am your father.
I am. Yeah, that speaking of fathers, that was my late father's car. I've still got that as well.
That's a nice
Yeah,
one.
they don't have a very good reputation about reliability.
No, they don't. I remember the salesman told my father when he bought that. But basically, he said, if you buy a set of kitchen knives, you've got to take them somewhere to keep them sharp. And basically, he was saying that this needs a lot of maintenance, and in a way it did. But
the Bosch injection system tends to be a problem.
the Bosch one isn't. The one before that was a problem. Yeah, they had a British version before, and that's the Bosch Jetronic in this one, which isn't too bad.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm not a fan of these big cars.
I'm not going to read that out, but I'll just let you read that, fellas, before we move on with the presentation.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Andrew.
Yeah. Well, move
along, man. Yeah.
Hi, guys. I had an Austin in 91. Wipers failed in Vancouver downpour. Complained to a friend, was told a joke. Why do Brits drink warm beer? Same electrics on cars and refrigerators. I'd love to hear more American jokes about Brits. So it's not just jokes about our teeth then. It's jokes about our cars as well. Fantastic. Yeah. More of those.
Hey, hello. She's from Vancouver. She's Canadian. Take it easy.
Yeah.
North American, I meant to say. God, calm down, Canadians. That's the temperamental engine of Bentley.
The temperamental engine, which I spent an awesome amount of time cleaning up. And if anybody sees the roll
what size lump is that, Doug?
That's 6.75.
Wow.
Yeah, but
Yeah, you need an oil tanker.
okay,
Yeah.
lots of time, but lots of fun, surely.
Yeah, can you see my roll of insulating tape there on top of the tower?
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
How many gallons to the mile did that do?
Not many.
No, gallons to the mile.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Well, it did about 11 or 12 to the gallon. I know that.
Yes, miles per mile.
Right. Yes.
Well, the two together. So a newer or an older Volvo there. What's happening with that?
Oh,
That one is actually an older model, but a newer car.
Okay, yeah. It does look older in shape, doesn't it? And another solid colour. Before metallic paintwork, right? That's a very solid.
That is called varicose vein blue.
Varicose vein blue. There you go. Does what it says on the tin. That's really a nice looking motor.
Yeah,
it's
the
in
color
mint
looks
condition.
good on it. The color looks really good.
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid motor.
And there they are in the garage. Wow.
Yeah. Having their batteries charged. Well, that's under the bonnet of the Blue 200 series.
Beautiful. And the back end.
Sleeping with the Bentley.
Tow hitch on the Volvo as well.
Yes.
You need to tow the Bentley.
Yeah. I like it.
No, that's for the tanker truck that he has to tow behind.
That was the Cheshire Rolls Royce and Bentley Owners Club.
So another anal club there.
Yeah.
But what goes on? What goes on at these things? For people who don't know, you get there, you park up, told where to park, beautifully manicured lawn by the look of it, or AstroTurf. And then what do you do? I mean, people come and admire. It's like a sort of dogging thing without sex, right?
It's dogging. Well, sometimes you can have sex if you really want to, but more often than not, we just sit around and have picnics. And sort of
Looks like
exchange
a lot of
notes about
champagne
the
and
cars.
caviar right there.
They're quite.
The trick is that you see that picture there. You say to the guy next to you, "I seem to have dropped my socket down there in the sump. Could you reach over and get it for me, please?"
No chance.
He says, I know you. You're the doc, aren't you?
That's the posh version of the soap in the shower in the prison.
Oh, now we're talking, Doug. Lovely.
That's the Portuguese car.
So this is what you drive when you come over to Portugal, so you can go topless.
Yeah, you go topless in that, and everybody'd run away then, wouldn't they?
Do you? Is this what you drive in the Douro with?
I have done.
Oh
Yeah.
wow!
Normally, when I come to Portugal, I actually hire a car. I rarely drive down. Well, I don't always drive down. It depends, how much time I've got and so on.
That's a beautiful car. Tell us more about that.
Yes.
Still, I don't use it every day. I mean, it's spends a lot of time in the garage, as you can see, because it's no good in the winter. These cars need to be kept indoors, otherwise they just turn into a soggy old rag because it's got a rag top. I bought that about 4 years ago. From what used to be a Saab garage, but there aren't no Saab garages anymore. So
another one that's bit the dust.
Bit the dust. Still, basically General Motors and Vauxhall parts. So no issues with getting spares.
Tell me, Doug. I want to know this one.
They build their stuff as Volvos. Basically, these cars are bulletproof.
You're right. Yeah. What was that, Garvin?
I want to hear that this is the most reliable, most wonderful car to drive in the world because I've always wanted one of these. This is a lovely car.
No, it is. No, and the turbo versions are really, really quick.
This one's the low pressure turbo version. It's not the full blown.
It was in 2002, I think. I saw one doing it a track day.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just boozing along like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Lap after lap after lap.
Yeah. They're very good.
Yeah.
So which car was this?
You also know the best trucks on the planet.
Yeah. Lucas Mechanical Fuel. What was that for?
That's the Joel was saying that we had Bosch fuel injection on the Bentleys. Well, the troublesome was the Lucas Mechanical Fuel injection on the really early ones, and they only used that for about a year before they bucked up their ideas back in crew and said, "Oh, hang on, that's no good. We're going to have to put Bosch fuel injection in it for reliability," and that's what they did.
Okay. Susan, thanks, Frank. Okay, I'm sorry I put my hands up to that. I'm sorry about that earlier comment I made. Some of my best friends are Canadian, if I can say that in my defense.
Nice.
Rolls Evergreen 6.75 litre. That's what we saw, right? My first car was a Jensen first car. Never got to drive it though. When I was 17, I got the Citroen BX. They were beautiful. The very complex hydraulic suspension, right?
Hydro-pneumatic suspension.
Loved it.
Yeah, my uncle
had three of those.
Had one. Actually, it was an enjoyable ride to be in it.
Yeah.
Really.
Was it the bastard uncle?
No, it was the other uncle. The bastard uncle only had Fiat Austin 1300, Fiat 125, I think, the ones that were copied by Lada in Russia. Then he bought a Opel Corsa, or Vauxhall Corsa. And I lost track because he no longer lives with my family, so good riddance.
Right. Okay, I think we need to get him back on one day. The bastard uncle needs to be here to be his right.
I will punch him to death.
Not on a Zoom.
It's a fair show. This you need to write a reply.
He does.
What's his name, Joel? If I may, what's his first name?
Bastard is by the sound.
Bastard uncle.
Bastard is his middle name. His first name is Domingos.
Luis?
Domingos.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
Like Sunday, but in Portuguese with an S.
Okay. And we will get all of our nemesis on. I'll have Alejandro one evening to put his side of the story. But,
he's in Lagos. I met him. Remember last time I went to Lagos?
Yes, very good. Domingos
will come. Alejandro drove. His car was.
I'll get back to you on that. I can think of a motoring put down of some sort. So the BX, you could drop it so low that can put a wheel clamp on it. That's good to know, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well done, Alex. And was it? I mean, that was expensive to repair, wasn't it? All that pipe work underneath, if you needed to.
No,
yeah, because they use the same. The four suspension use the same system. The automatic use the same oil. If one of the oil reserves went bad, all of the rest wouldn't work properly.
Yep, it's the same with the Bentley. Actually, that's got hydro-pneumatic. It's the Citroen suspension on there as well. That's why they're so unreliable. You see.
Paul is actually a trader. After 45 years of being a motor trader, most of the cars you're talking about were a pile of crap. Now they're worth a fortune.
Yeah, no, and I don't even want to discuss, for example, American market because they are nuts. The car prices, they are inflating car prices like madmen.
There we go, American bashing again.
I agree with Terence on this
American
one.
bashing. No, what I'm criticizing is the fact that they overbuy everything.
All right, here goes my Disneyland.
Doug,
I love the Cortina Mark III as well, Terence. Actually, it's a beautiful car.
a lot more happening than the Bentley Topmobile you admire.
Actually, I like it in white with the green stripe.
Oh, very nice. I was in a crash in my friend's Volvo 244DL. He lost it on a bend and destroyed a garden wall and had the telephone pole, backed out and drove off.
There you go.
Even modern Volvos, I've seen recently about 2 years ago, an accident of a more modern Volvo S60 that drove into a shop. The car was intact, but the wall fall over it.
Yeah, we call that ram raiding in the UK.
Yeah.
The ram raiding gone bad.
Yeah, man smells Bifana and just has to go get it. Carolina, loving the Saab, says Carolina. Project Frugal, Vinny's here. Vinny's first car, Hillman Imp with a blown head gasket.
Love the Hillman.
Cars included a Toyota Corolla with no windscreen. Well, these are New Zealand specials by the sound of it, and hand painted, and Morris Oxford with a bonnet that would fly up on its own. That's a bit dangerous, isn't it?
Yeah, it's cool.
My worst
That happened to me on the motorway. The bonnet. I'm trying to remember what car it was. I think it was a Honda. Anyway, I was driving along the motorway at about 70 miles an hour, and suddenly the bonnet flew up, and for about 200 yards was on the windscreen. I could see a thing, and then it ripped off, flew off the back.
Bloody hell!
Yeah, frightening.
Terrible moment. And then after that, most bonnets had hoods had a catch on them, didn't they?
Or a piece of string.
My worst car period: 1980 X-Plate Fiat Panda, aka the Rust Bucket from Andrew. I had one of those. Why isn't Garvo's Swampy Wagon not here? Maybe it is. Maybe that'll make a late entry. What is the Swampy Wagon, Garvo?
Oh no, I don't know who's referring to this Swampy Wagon.
You've had a
Explain yourself, Terence. Explain yourself.
Oh, look at this. Andrew's first car, Dolomite Sprint. Loved it dearly. I bet you did.
Brilliant little car.
Yeah. My first two cars, Citroen Safari.
Oh, yeah. That's class. That's class.
Okay.
Give you splinters if you misbehave.
Moved on to a Matra Bagheera that I span on the way home from buying it. Oh, that's a bit embarrassing, Ian. Andrew, Paul, I know, right? Incredible what old crap is not worth. Alejandro, Stephen, enjoying this too much is bound to. Yes, that is your acoustic guitar player's motor, isn't it? A VW Camper that he has lovingly restored.
There is enjoyable. You can never have a speeding ticket on one of those.
No, but you
can go always flat out on one of those, and you don't have to worry about speeding tickets. Wonderful. Yeah.
Carl, I've got to tell you something, man. I've got to tell you something. Terence's love of his life vehicle was his VW Camper, and he's a guitar player.
Whoa!
He was called Alejandro in a previous life.
Mexican-American comedian Enrique Iglesias, called the Fluffy. He collects campers, VW campers.
He's welcome.
He has 13, 15 split windows and everything else.
My first car, says Diffie, was a Mercedes S1230. That's quite complex, isn't it? And now Model Y. Well done, Diffie. I used to wind people up at the traffic lights with my Citroen BX, which had 3 height settings, which I kept switching up and down in a challenging manner to other times.
Sounds pretty cool, doesn't it?
That's pre-pimp my ride with a full-on hydraulic up and down system. Diffie Dog, that would have been disconcerting, wouldn't it? Biffy Dog, I mean, you look at some of the cars we owned back in the day and you wonder how we ever got laid. Evening Motorheads. Look, she had the bug. Did Victoria 69 VW Beetle?
Yeah, I can see with that. I can see Victoria Beetle.
Yeah, that is one that is still on my bucket list to drive.
Oh, really? Okay. Girls had low standards back then. That did help. That did help. I mean, if you had a car at all, that kind of helped.
Yeah, that's true. If you had a car at all,
yeah.
You
I
will
remember
score.
a friend of mine had a Ford, Ford Escort van, and he put a double mattress in the back and tricked out the dashboard with pink fake fur, and the girls loved it.
Yeah,
Pimp my ride, my pimp.
And finally, bought a new 4.2 E-Type, 4.2 drop head for 2,000, now worth 100,000 grand. Bought a Aston Martin DB5 James Bond one for 4,000 grand, now worth 800,000. Why did I keep them? That is like being the Bitcoin guy, isn't it?
Yeah.
His computer away.
Oh man!
Yeah.
Okay, guys, this is a good beer question. What is your ultimate car you could realistically afford to buy and run as a daily? We'll come back to that.
The junk I currently drive.
Andy, first car was a hand Hammerite painted. Hammerite is a gift to mankind, isn't it? Woolsey 1660 had to wear goggles in the rain as it had a huge hole in the front floor and sprayed water in your face when turning right.
Marvelous.
All right, Doug.
Happy days are here again.
Absolutely right. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for your comments. Now, there's another view. Nice gravel drive.
What's this color? What's the color of the Saab there, Doug? What's that?
I
color
don't
called?
know what its
blue
official
metallic.
color is. Something like sky
I don't
blue or
know
something like
the
that.
Saab colors, but it's
Ah,
obviously
that's
like
blue.
blue metallic.
Yeah. It's like a light blue metallic, isn't it? Yeah, it's almost pearlescent. Actually, it's got a pearly look to it.
And this is a major shift in cars, isn't it? Is when we went from the solid colours of the Volvo there to the metallics. I know that was a transition, but I mean, all cars are metallic now, pretty much, aren't they? They don't have this solid paint.
No, the thing is, they are all three colors. You rarely see one out of tone. You either see dark gray, light gray, white, or black.
Yeah,
In
in Portugal,
a red or yellow, a blue, even a green, or a
well
brown.
yeah, Carl. In Portugal, if you want metallic, you have to pay more.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and in the UK as well, actually. Yeah. But
Yeah,
it doesn't make it's a bad idea to have.
No, that is. I mean, there are 4 Volvos there,
Yeah.
and I have to say, a very, very well kept lawn as well. Doug, is this your house?
Yeah, that's it. That's the back.
I
of
like
my
the
house.
estate one.
Yes, I've got a picture of that. Better picture of that one.
I want to know the brand
I like
of
the red one.
the mole cutter.
It's I can't remember actually. Probably a hater or something like that.
And that's the estate is the antique dealer's car, isn't it? In the UK,
It is. I
Yes.
bought that one luckily in Richmond, one owner car, and it had only done 18,000 miles from new.
very good.
Yeah, and these were fun to drive, especially the 850 turbo.
Yeah. Oh, I had one of those as well. Oh, this is me in Portugal.
Yeah, the friend of mine, the friend of my mechanic has this car, this model on light blue. He is currently doing a conversion to it. It was given by his uncle, and they are a brother and sister. The sister had one grayish one that sold to a friend of mine that has a classic car business that sold that Volvo to Germany.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See that old chap standing next to it in the blue top?
Yep.
He restored that car himself.
And what is it we're talking about here? What vehicle is this?
This is a 144 Volvo 144. This one is.
Yep. See,
19
closest to the 142 that I had.
Yeah. This was the 144. The 144, usually Volvo, if it's 144 denotes 4 doors and 142 denotes 2. That's where you threw me. But anyway, this one's a 144.
I know I had 4 doors. And I know
there you
it was
go.
142S.
Okay, no worries.
And the interesting thing here is the wing mirrors. that are bolted to the wings, right?
Yeah, you don't see an awful lot in those, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, they were depth
I
traps.
know,
though,
don't
weren't they?
see a lot of those.
You have to love the old Portuguese plates.
Yes.
My Jeep had them. My '91 Daihatsu had the classic.
There you go.
I could use them. I was allowed to use the classic license plates.
That's my Larry Grayson look.
Yes. Where's Everard? Everard's in the back.
Everard, shut that door.
Everard
Shut
was,
that boot. Yeah. Shut that boot.
my favourite Larry Grayson joke was Everard was riding a bike and the seat was stolen from the bike and it took him 5 miles to notice. This is on daytime telly. Larry Grayson would get away with that
Love
sort of
Larry
material.
Grayson.
Yes. Was this a fast car, Doug?
By modern standards, no. It had all of about 80 horsepower.
Back then was a cheeky bastard.
Yeah, but it had a Mini Cooper engine in it, so it could shift.
Amazing. And here you are again in a rather hilly part of Wales. Are you there?
Yeah, we're in a classic car run there.
Yeah.
Wow. So, Doug, power steerings, I'm assuming?
No, not on that. No. Light as a feather, doesn't need it.
This is proper man's car. There wasn't such thing as driver and assisting aids like.
Quite right. Oh, the old and the new.
Yeah.
The new one doesn't belong to me. We were in a classic car show, and the guy
look
turned
at
up.
Joel getting a stiffy. I like it.
This for me is like porn. I enjoy love.
I know. I can see that.
We can see that, man. We can see that.
No, you cannot see that because I'm sitting down. I'm not standing up.
Stay there. What is the camper van in the back there?
By the look of it, it's a Ford Transit.
Yeah, it's a tranny. Yeah.
Yeah, a tranny. And they're in an indoor.
Yeah, that was at the NEC.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We did a blacked out all the wheels and everything. There's the 850 turbo.
I'm not looking at the 850 turbo anymore. I'm looking at that disgustingly sexy Jag.
Yeah, that belonged to my dad.
Ford Mondeo.
Yeah. That was the big Jag. That was the XJ.
I used to for about 10 years. All I ever had was second-hand or more than second-hand XJs. Used to buy them for about $3,000 and just run them till they stopped.
Yeah, they're never worth an awful lot a second-hand, are they? No, they're not.
They're lovely cars, though.
This is
a market. For example, here they wouldn't go below 5,000 euros, for example. In Portugal, even the classic. I remember searching for a car to buy when I took my driver's license too, and even searching for MGBs. They were quite expensive. They were back then, even before Euro, it was 10,500.
Goodish. Wow, it's goodish.
Guess how much I paid for that silver estate?
I guess considering UK prices, about 1,500.
You're not wrong. It was just over $1,000, and I paid a few extra £100 to get it up to speed.
Yeah, this model, the 850 turbo, to find one in Portugal is already rare. And to buy by that price is impossible. You will only manage to buy one for around 4 or 5 grand.
You wouldn't buy one for $1,500 now. I mean, that's going back several years, you know.
Because it's considered a classic already.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Joel, you really know your cars. It's very impressive.
He does.
What I like
definitely a Joel sweet spot.
Yeah. What I like about this is you're driving through a British Ford where you have a river running across a road. And I used to love this as a kid. I don't know how popular they are anymore, or whether they, road engineering.
There are still a couple of villages in Portugal that have this kind of roads. You
really?
cross the river.
This is a place called Malmsmead in Exmoor.
Really beautiful.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And how did you stage the photograph? Did you make somebody run ahead so that you could get this?
That's Karen, my wife, took the photograph, and you can just about see my little girl's face in the passenger seat, and I'm wearing a stripy. You can just make it out, a stripy T-shirt.
So did you make Karen walk across the Ford?
I dropped her off. To the left of that, there's a bridge, so I just drove in a big circle.
Okay, excellent. Glad to hear it.
I can just imagine Doug saying. I can just imagine Doug saying as he's crossing that Ford. I just imagine Doug saying he's crossing that Ford, leaning out.
This is a pimp mobile, man.
Hold on a minute. He's trying to fix me. Gary, come on.
Go back to the other picture of the Volvo.
Yeah. I only told you to blow the bloody doors off.
Put the picture back up.
Oh, is it on there? I beg your pardon. Sorry. I just need to shrink you again. There you go.
Right, I can just see Doug coming across this Ford, right, leaning out the window, saying, "Excuse me, peasant, do you mind washing your clothes somewhere else while I come past?"
I did indeed, actually. They were washing their gruns in that river, Gary. It was disgusting. It was absolutely appalling.
Grun. Monty Python. Old woman.
Remove those dirty clothes from this river immediately.
Now, this is a beauty. Doug.
My father kept that car for 17 years. 17 years. And that picture was taken on the day we traded it in. So it was still in mint condition.
And cars that had windscreen wipers on the headlights seemed pretty special at the time, didn't they?
Yeah. It was a beautiful car. That I wish he hadn't sold it.
Yeah.
It would be amazing to have that now.
It really would. Where are we now? Is that Chatsworth?
No, it's oh God Almighty, Holcombe Hall in Norfolk.
Oh, you get about, don't you? Oh, that's a big dong. Someone's got a big dong in the background.
Absolutely. Lake District.
Yep.
Touring in the old estate.
Good
that's
shot.
got a 2.3 low pressure turbo. What a beautiful car that was.
Straight out of the Volvo catalogue.
They are thinking this is the funeral car.
And that's it. That's the lot.
Doug, that is amazing. Who is donging? Who is doing that? All right.
Joel.
Let's have a quick look at the comments, and then I'm going to come back to you. First car, favourite car, as we go round. All right, Gary, is urgent?
It's all right. I was just going to throw something in there because back to what my brother said about the swampy camper van. I know what he means now. I had an LDV Sherpa V8. It was an old ambulance, which was converted into a camper van, and it was brilliant. It was wonderful.
A new age, but a new age traveller vehicle for sure. Wouldn't have been out of place at Stonehenge, would it?
I used to love going to the camping club sites, and they just looked at me with disdain, like, "Oh, look at him."
That would have been a Leyland DAF 400.
A simple engine, I understand. Okay, so first car, Hammerite Wolseley, we've done that one, haven't we? In Canada, brother's first car, says Susan, was a Hillman. Dad thought he can't get into much trouble with that. Wrong. Jordan, my dad's mate emigrated to Australia, and his Aston V8 Vantage shipped over. Didn't tie it down properly. Oh, it arrived 6 inches shorter than when it left. Can you imagine that banging about in the container? Oh, terrible. My all-time favourite vehicle was a VW Camper T. Here we go. Guitar strapped to the front. I used it for dipping car boot sales. And it was a playground for my 2-year-old son. No hard feelings. Portugal's sun heat seems to peel the lacquer off the roofs of the cars here. The sun does play merry hell with vehicles, doesn't it? It ruins the paint.
Yeah, especially on red paint.
Yep. Oh, okay. Good tip. Good tip. Don't buy a red car. Doug, you are a hero with all of those Volvos. Deep respect to you from Terence.
Or completely nuts, of course.
Yeah, possibly. It looks like a domestic abuse blue. Black cars. Diffy. Okay. Diffy Dog Doom Blue is that colour. That solid blue colour by the sound of it. Third car, missing out the second one, but the third car was a 72 VW Super Beetle GT. Yellow with black racing stripes, 2 speed. Sounds great. You were robbed at 1,500 quid. Rachel, I wonder what Paul would have offered if he'd taken it into his place. Hi, Victoria from Rachel there. Dad had an MGA convertible in the early 60s. So that, I mean, as alphabetically suggests there, that's the forerunner, is it, to the MGB?
Yeah.
Much prettier car, actually. The MGA was a beautiful car.
Every time I listen to Doug speak, I think he could be someone that would really do well on the Antique Roadshow.
Thank you.
Doug, would you like to say to the camera how long has this been in the family?
Me, you mean?
Yeah, and in an Antique Roadshow style.
Oh, how long is it? How am I supposed to say how long it's been in the family?
How long has this been in the family?
How long has this been in the family?
I think you've got the job. I think you've got the job there. I used to go out with it. I used to go out with the daughter of one of the Antiques Roadshow presenters, back in the day. Hey, Rachel. Oi, tudo bem? From Victoria to Rachel there. Andrew, best value for money I ever bought. Lotus Elise.
Wow.
96 plate with 60,000 on the clock. 2003, $4,000. He's
Great.
bought a few cars. I think it's Andrew's presentation next week. To the
I
from
was
Rachel.
surprised I could fit in a Lotus Elan 2+2 GT. I'm 6'2", and I managed to fit in one of them.
6'2". We just wrapped our live stream. We're now here. Josh and Kaylee, good evening to you. Your first vehicles. And tell us any more North American jokes about British people. We've done our teeth. We've done our cars. What else do you laugh about in America? North America, Canada included. Victoria Benson MJ is a beauty. But not Joel, can I join? Yes, of course you can. Let's. I think we can squeeze another one in.
Regarding the MGA, the only thing I don't like a lot of it is the grill. I prefer the MGB.
Okay. Hi, Josh and Kaylee. How are you both? Great to have. We're superstars of YouTube, you know. I might need Joel's help buying a motor. I'm looking for an old banger, about 500 nicker. That's euros to you, Joel.
Yeah,
Joel, you can do this, man. You can do this.
You will not find quality on that price, but you will find some reliable gems. They will need a little bit of body work, but they will work.
I think you could make an amazing business in this end of the market, helping expats buy cars, really. I'm often asked which is the best car to buy, says ex-car dealer Paul Richards. My answer is, which is the best woman to make love to?
Good answer.
It's Swiss Tony. It's actually Swiss Tony, isn't it? With us tonight in the form of
It
Paul.
depends. You want something fast and short run, or you want something for lasting a long lifetime?
Yeah.
Sounds like he's into a Swiss roll.
Or stick shift, or automatic.
Yeah, preferably manual.
Okay,
not
sharing
automatic gearbox stuff.
Carolina enjoyed your presentation, Doug, as we all
Thank
did.
you. There you go. Thank you for presenting it much better than I could have done.
It's a pleasure, mate. Absolutely.
Thank you, Doug. That was beautiful.
Yep.
Nice trip down memory lane.
Coming back to you guys in a minute. My fave car was a straight 6 Austin 3-litre, hence my son's name. Very good.
Oh, wow.
John Drury. That's naming children after cars. Some will be better than others, right? Evening. My folks were Jaguar people. Jaguar, if you're American. My mum still has her first
Jaguar.
1950 Jaguar.
Original brand language is Portuguese. Jaguar.
Yes, but it's Jaguar or Jag in UK, where they come from, Joel.
A Jag.
Fun topic tonight.
Yeah, but if you search for Jaguar history, you will find out they were inspired by the Portuguese name.
Oh, my Lord.
By what we say is Jaguar.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay.
You're killing Carlos, man.
My first car was an Alfa Romeo. Sorry to hear that. Quadrifoglio. Sold it after 27 years of ownership.
Wow.
I am so jealous. I really am.
But what they don't say is they were only able to use it 4 times. Moving to only kidding. Where we roam, that would look beautiful in Portugal. But gone. My fave car was my 02 Toyota Celera convertible, red with tan top and cream interior. That is a proper ladies' car, if you don't mind me saying. Yes,
that model escapes me.
Pictures, please. Send pics. I'm off to bed. There's an old banger waiting for me. Adrian, you can't say something like that. John Drury, good night to you. Sweet dreams. My first car, which I still have, 1968 Pontiac Firebird convertible. John Drury, round of applause from this end. And Josh and Kaylee, hi, we're doing well. Just had a fun on our channel and ready for some more fun here. How are you? Yes, let's give Josh and Kaylee a nice warm welcome tonight. Built for comfort or built for speed? Yes, Andrew. Hola, gentlemen, from Michael Bliss Music. Cheers, Josh and Kaylee. Made me late. Ooh. Jag. Which is sheepskin coat, obviously. Jag wife that you were talking about last night. It's a real stereotype thing with the Jag. There are 9 of you on the screen tonight. I feel the urge to play tic-tac-toe. Send pics. Kaylee, 2002 Mitsubishi Lancer Oz Rally Edition Yellow. Josh, 1990 Chevy Cavalier, 2-tone paint job, grey and rust.
Kaylee, you're the woman. Seriously. Mitsubishi Lancer Oz Rally Edition. Heaven.
The woman of Joel's dream, I would say.
No, the car she's driving.
Oh, it's like that.
Okay.
She had pretty good taste on it.
Judith is missing the Saudi sun. This is to you, Josh and Kaylee, in cold and rainy UK today. Paul, if you want a classic car, which will always go up. Oh, some good advice here. Buy an old Porsche 911. Better than money in the bank.
True.
Okay.
The most uncomfortable ride in the world, right there.
Bang, bang, bang. Yeah.
Does John have a picture of his Jag? People, are they a new species? I don't know what that means. Jaguar people. Are they a new species? Jaguar people. Where we roam, lol. The Alpha was great, but we're planning to bring my 78-9. There you go. The investment is there. The Targa. Let's have
not bad. 78 911 Targa.
the second Victoria's second car. Skipped
I
it.
hope it has the tail spoiler, the tail wheel spoiler.
And what do you think of this, Joel? Victoria's second car, Chevy Caprice, classic convertible blue. She likes her convertibles, doesn't she? Blue with white top and interior. $200, 6 miles per gallon in that.
The rest of the money went to run it.
The thing is, even though I appreciate muscle cars, they are a little bit on the bigger side.
Yeah. Andrew Gilchrist.
And for experience myself, even though I can drive pretty much everything, and I drove pretty much everything since from trucks to not lorries, but trucks, vans, and everything else, I still prefer a smaller car.
Okay, Porsche 911. Put your red braces on, back on, and head to the 1980s. Yeah, I guess it's a bit of an estate agent, loads of money sort of car, isn't it? Hey, Paul went for a 968 Cabrio. It has the engine in the right place. Where is that engine then? In the back?
In the front.
Oh, in the front. Beg your pardon. John Drury. No pick. It's my mum's car. 83 now. Wow. I bought that.
That's not the right place for an engine.
No.
On the Porsche, no.
Okay. Controversy breaking out. It's a 1953 XK 120 Roadster inline 6 racing engine stock. The Drury family have some taste there, I think. John Drury.
It's an XK 120.
1970 E-Type convertible. That is a thing of beauty. Victoria Benson. Chevy was not a muscle car. It was longer than a station wagon. Lol. That brings us up to date with the comments. You'll be glad to hear, gentlemen. First cars, favorite cars. Let's hear from you, Colin.
E-Type we saw.
Where's Colin? Oh yeah, let's unmute Colin.
You've lost him.
First car, favorite car.
My first car was the Frog-Eyed Sprite.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, my favourite car was the car I had in 1982, which was a 1980 left-hand drive only, black Renault Alpine 310. It's called.
What's that?
310 is there was about 10 of them in the UK, and I obviously had one of them. I bought it off a Prince, I believe, from London. He was a Saudi prince or something like that. Anyway, I bought it 2 years old. It's been quite heavily used, unfortunately, but it has a V6 2.5 litre engine in it. In the back, it looked like a Ford, really, but somebody knocked on my door one day and said, "You selling that classic? You selling that car out there?" "Oh no, it's mine." He says, "Oh," he said, "what kit car is it?" And It wasn't. It was a Renault Alpine.
The 310, is that it?
That's the 310.
Yeah.
Mine would be that one there, the black one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Incredible.
It was also a car that was used at Lotus to actually think about how they would do the DeLorean.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you, Colin. That reminds me of my auntie's Matra Simca. My auntie had a Matra Simca in France, and she drove like a demon. Amazing car.
Love some cars. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go round. Please do.
It was difficult for me because when I worked for Alfa Romeo, I fell in love with the Alpha 75. I mean, I used to do 10,000 miles a month when I worked for them. I covered a sixth of the country, and I used to have a new car every 10,000 miles. So they were always 75s, and I loved them, either the 3 litre, the 2.5 litre, or my favourite was the 2 litre. Fabulous car.
Thank you very much, Colin. I'm going to mute you up again. Your sound is not brilliant. Yeah, I don't know if where the clicking would come from. We're a clicky keyboard user somewhere. But thank you very much, Colin. So who have we lost? It's so difficult with so many people on the screen. We've
lost somebody, haven't we?
Frank's gone away, I think, isn't he?
Yeah.
All right, so let's carry on then from Colin. Let's go to Eric J. First and favourite.
My first, like I said earlier, was a 142S Volvo.
Of course, yeah.
And Doug was absolutely correct that it was a 2-door and not a 4-door. And I thank him for not correcting me. He was absolutely correct.
Well,
my favorite was my 2014 Mini Cooper Countryman with the Union Jack on the top, which coincidentally I sold last week. So I know, Joel, it was a German-made car.
You have the option, if you come to Portugal, you can buy one here.
Okay. It's not if I come to Portugal, it's when I come to Portugal.
Yes, that's more like it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you very much, Eric J. Let's do this in a way that I can remember who I've asked. Garvo, first and favourite.
Oh, this is such a difficult question. First car was the said Mark III Cortina that my brother donated me. I loved it dearly. Daytona yellow, DOX 859K. I can still remember the registration. Fun times in that. Oh, favourite cars. I mean, that is a big question. There's a few. I love my Land Rover 110, which had an Isuzu engine in it. That went everywhere. I had an Alfa 164, which was just an amazing car. But if I had to pick, the one I missed the most, it's got to be my Rover 800 2-door coupe with a 2-litre turbocharged engine in it, because that was just fantastic.
Oh.
It was luxurious, fast, and just
I remember you telling us
sumptuous.
about
Sumptuous.
Beautiful.
Isn't it rare as well, Garbo?
Is that,
Yeah,
I think for the Tomcat, they didn't.
Well, Leona's telling us now, I think.
They were meant.
Leona's saying she thinks that's the one they called
They were meant for the American.
Quite many of them.
No.
So Leona knows her motors as well. Let's go to that household then. Let's include Leona in this. First and favourites. Leona, do you want to go first?
First car, Honda Prelude Mark 1. And if I could have a car again, it would probably be a Honda Prelude Mark 1.
Oh, lovely.
Or a Mercedes 2. What was my car? Was it a CL200?
CL200,
yeah. I'd have one of those.
Beautiful. Thank you, Leona. Doc.
Okay, first car was a BMW 316 with a full-length Tudor coach-built Tudor Webasto sunroof. It cost me 400 quid, and I promptly doubled my investment by replacing the tyres. My favourite would have to be the Volvo XC90 which I bought new, fully loaded, beautiful car. Drove it all over the place. Did off-roading in the Pyrenees, and we took it skiing one winter in France, and we were coming back across the top north of Lake Geneva, and this was at 10 o'clock at night, and we were headed for the Channel crossing at about 1:30 in the morning, and we went to the heaviest snowstorm that Central Europe had seen in 50 years, and we were going up into onto the plateau. The snow plows were coming down in pairs. We were the only vehicle heading up, and we went through the snowstorm. Had to skirt a couple of landslides, and as we came down off the top, and that was at about 3 o'clock in the morning. The kids were, we had to stop every 10 minutes to take the ice off the windscreen wipers, and we were really happy to see signs of civilization in the form of a Chinese 24-hour restaurant. So the kids went in and got food. We turned up at the Channel at about 7 o'clock in the morning, apologizing for being late. They said, "Don't worry, everyone is get on." But it was a great vehicle. It just carried on going, never hesitated. Fantastic vehicle.
Built for those conditions. Cheers, Doc. Appreciate that. Let's go to Carlos.
Right. First car, the 74 Corolla. It's the only car for me because I took it apart, engine and body. So for me, it's the only car because after that, it's just a way to go to somewhere.
Yeah. Okay, simple. Very good. Thank you very much. I'll go next then. So we work our way around the screen. Someone just took a screenshot. Cheeky. You hear that, everybody?
Yeah.
Unless they were doing something else, sending pictures to their mistress or something. I don't know. Anyway, my first car, I will show you on the screen now. It was a Volkswagen K70. Not long after I passed my test, I went halves with my dad, I think, on this. And I've never seen this vehicle ever since then. And I only bought it because it was around the corner and it was a useful price. But this is VW's entry into the rotary engine market. And it was great. It was roomy. I think it was a silver one, like the one in the middle there. Good fun. Going out with my mates in it, roomy inside, chugged along nicely.
Looks a bit Audi-like in design, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it broke down, and then I went on to Austin 1300. But my favourite was, I think I've said before, is my Mercedes 190. That I think I bought for 500 quid, and the African Taxi in white, beautiful sunroof. I loved it, and again, it's the cars you wish you'd kept. I wish I'd kept my Mercedes 190. Although I'd have to matriculate everything, and it'd be on the wheel would be on the wrong side and everything. But absolutely brilliant car. Over to you, Joel. First and favourite.
My first car was a Renault Super 5, which I don't have a picture of it, unfortunately. It was a hand-me-down from my grandfather. Lasted 2 years in my hand until a truck driver, when doing the subway here locally above my house, about 500 meters, somebody wrecked it. Destroyed my front right side of the car. Drove it like that for a couple of months. Then it had an electrical issue and burned to death. And two of my favorite cars, I posted the pictures of them. If you, Carl, don't mind sharing.
Sure. See if I can.
One of them was on my early boy racer years, which was a Civic, 1.6 ESI with an astonishing 125 horsepower.
Is that it there?
No, that is a Lotus Evla 2+2 GT.
What is going on here, Joe? What have you sent me?
Yeah, you got to go to the other side more and more and more and more. That interior was the black one is the mine.
Yeah.
So if you go to the other picture, please.
Oops.
Not that.
That's all you
the interior was. I fitted from an older model. I fit the interior on that.
Good man.
Yeah, that is the Lotus, and my favorite of them all is the next picture.
A Pajero.
No, that is a Daihatsu Feroza, or as you call it, a Daihatsu Sport Track.
Wow.
That is my favorite of them all.
Wow. Thank you very much.
And actually, is the one that I missed the most.
Yep. Okay, brilliant. Frank, you don't strike me as much of a car enthusiast. But am I right or am I wrong?
Not a car. I like bicycles.
Bicycles.
He's a hat enthusiast.
Yeah, that's how you got to be.
And what was your first motor, or are you just not bothered?
The first one I bought was a Nissan Xterra, 2000 Nissan Xterra Black, and the second one was also a Nissan Xterra. So I had two Nissans back to back.
And your favorite?
But I couldn't afford a car. These guys are very lucky. I couldn't afford a car. I left home at the age of 16, so I barely had money. I barely had money for public transportation.
Yeah. Fair play. And is it just not a bother to you at all? I mean, it's interesting because I don't feel myself as much of a fan of vehicles as a lot of the chaps here. And for a lot of people, it's just a way of getting about, isn't it? Which would sound like sacrilege. Go on, Joe.
No, the thing is, for example, the car I have now is basically my go around everything.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have that flavor of having the Jeep, which was the previous vehicle I owned, which was more fun and exciting to drive around because I went off road with it, as you see on the picture.
Yeah.
I found out so many places where a normal car cannot go. It is far more enjoyable for those that went and do off-road. That doesn't compare for just going on the asphalt and do the regular things. It was that's where my nostalgia hits a little bit because it's where it was more fun because even enjoying this, doing off-road trips with other people that enjoy the same hobby as you, tends to be a lot fun.
True story. João Mendonça is here. Now, here's an interesting thing. This man drives for a living. So I think he should know a thing or two. He drives luxury cars for a living as well. So, João, what's your first car and what's your favorite car to drive?
Well, my first car, I don't know if you can actually... I can't put it up on the camera, can I?
Oh, I was zooming.
It was
BMW, isn't it?
Yeah, BMW.
2002.
Yes, beautiful.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, somebody gave me one, and I turned it down.
It was fantastic. It was fantastic. I mean, I must have been, 19 or 20. So we're talking about a good 30 years ago.
Yeah, and on your dad's insurance.
30 odd, yeah. Yeah, 30 odd years ago. I think along the way, I think I came across as well, because I used to love those nippy cars back in the day. I think in the 90s was like the Renault 5 GT Turbo. They used to have an engine at the back.
Yeah.
You remember that one? The white, very white. Yeah, the Renault 5 Turbo. And that was, I even once, me and a mate of mine, we went up to Brands Hatch. In those days, you could pay to go on the circuit. And I'll tell you that thing, you know, you'd hit second gear, 70 miles an hour with no problem. I mean, it just flew. I mean, I can't remember in how many minutes I done a lap, but it was extraordinary. That car. And nowadays, I mean, I drive everyone else's cars, like you said. I mean, from a Roller to a Bentayga to whatever, Range Rover. I drive the top cars. I have been doing that for the past 20 odd years now.
So you
but
kind of got it.
I still kind of love my Mini, which I had to get rid of it. I had a 2004 Mini, which was ideal for town. It's ideal for London, you know. But since then, the missus and my daughter always used to argue who's going to sit in the front, because it was a 3-door hatchback kind of thing. So ended up by having to get a Prius Iris, which is a 5-door hatchback. So to keep them happy, stop them from fighting who's going to sit at the front. But mostly it's only to get around, you know. Usually when I'm working, when the clients are here, the car stays home and I just drive theirs all the time.
So what's the most amazing car you've driven? I mean, you're driving really expensive luxury cars for your clients, right?
I think my favorite so far, it's been a few years back. He did have bloody hell, can't remember now. The one that James Bond uses, the Aston Martin. I think that's going to be one of my favorites. What was it he had at the
Aston Martin?
VB7.
What?
Like 8 years ago.
You're driving a sports car as a chauffeur, or is this a bigger sort?
No, it's his car that he brings over. What he does, so he basically in London we keep a couple of cars, even a Viano, the latest Viano now. I think it's going to come out. It's going to be in electric, the V class,
right?
Kind of a Spas. But usually what he does, he sort of brings a car over, gets it here a week before he arrives. Then he takes it back, and it's just numbers of cars. It just keeps on changing. From a Bentley to what's the last one? The AMG, the new Jeeps.
Mercedes, right? Yeah.
The new Jeep Mercedes. Yeah, he brought that over. But I don't fancy driving a left-hand... G-Wagon. I don't fancy driving left-hand drive cars in London, to tell you the truth. Okay. Especially that big. Yeah. What I did like, he did have, and he sold it to someone that kept on bugging him in London, was a G-Wagon V8 special edition. They only made 250 of those, and apparently the number plate 250 was worth 10 times the car, kind of thing.
Amazing.
And because it comes with those, he comes with those Qatari number plates over, so basically he gets away with getting parking tickets and everything else. Well, nowadays they can sort of trace it.
Yeah.
But there again, only if he gets clamped outside Harrods, which he does occasionally.
What an interesting life! What an interesting life, Doc.
Yeah, can I just share my my love with bikes? I'll just share 3 of the motorbikes that I had. So my first motorbike was this one. Can you see that?
Yes.
So that's an MZ.
I see that in Portugal.
That's a PS.
MZ125. It cost me 250 quid brand new. And I could take the engine apart and put it back together in an afternoon on the kitchen table. The next one was not the next one, but the next one I will show you is this.
Good heavens!
This is a Suzuki GSX 750. And it was the fastest fastest street bike when it was brought out. I remember when I picked it up, it first bike I'd ridden after about 15 years off motorbike, and I sat on it and went off up the A5 from Milton Keynes, opened it up, and I thought, what have I done? But it was a beautiful bike. It would do 0 to 60 in about 3.5 seconds. And I remember I rode that bike every day. I rode it to work as a GP and did my house calls on it. And one day I found myself racing another motorcyclist through the tunnels in Birmingham, wearing shorts and a T-shirt. And I thought, no, that's not a good idea. I'm going to end up dead. So the last bike I had, which was the replacement for this, was a Harley.
Oh, wow.
I think we need pictures or it didn't happen.
No, it's an absolutely beautiful, beautiful bike. That was absolutely fantastic. Can't tell you how I when I had my stroke, I ended up going bankrupt because I didn't have enough insurance, and the receiver took that bike.
Oh,
yeah, but yeah, fantastic that was.
Amazing, Doc. I've never been. I've been too scared, I think, of motorbikes. Who else is into motorbikes here?
No, I've always been scared myself as well.
Yeah,
I scared myself to not driving bicycles in a Vespa.
Eric,
yeah, actually went through. Yeah, it actually was true because a friend of mine, when I was still in high school, he had his how you say padrasto in English?
Father-in-law, stepfather.
Stepfather.
Oh, stepfather.
He had a car. He had a used cars shop, and one day he took a Vespa to his own, and was parked there. It was a play toy during our holidays, and they were teaching us how to drive a Vespa. And back then was the brake was on the floor, and you have the shifter on the right side. So I was, and the clutch was on the same. So my handle was on the clutch. I put it in first gear. I drove off hill. I want to put second gear, but the bike isn't moving. What is happening? So I kept pulling the throttle up. When it is on shifter, so I released it. In first gear, I do a wheelie, almost hit the stairs, and I was no more. Stop it. No more bikes.
What's happening in Colin's house at the moment?
I don't know.
What's happening in Frank's house is what I want to know.
Right. I don't know about you lot, but this looks to me like Crime Watch now, doesn't it?
Sounds a bit, doesn't it? Yeah.
We're looking for a gang who've done an armed robbery.
It's got to hold a number in the front there somewhere.
And this guy here was the driver. He was really fast. All right.
You know what? I don't think I had a clean license ever after I got my first points. I just loved speed too much. I could never stick to the speed limit.
Yeah, heard that about you, Doc. Right, let's catch up with folks here. Favourite bike, Moto Mourinho, 3.5 Sport, many years ago.
Very nice.
I lost too many friends, says Andrew. Yeah, it's a scary thing. The Hatton Garden crew.
That's back when I was younger.
The great train robbery. Amazing.
When I was younger on the street, I lived with my grandparents. Every day there was an accident, and every day one person died.
Yeah.
From my motorcycle crash.
Scary stuff. The one time I tried to ride a motorcycle, ended up with an electric fence stuck on the bike. Once was enough. Yeah, fair play there. Michael Bliss, loving your ride there, Doc. I enjoy. Charles has been quiet tonight, but he comes up with a pithy classic like this. I enjoy working on my car on occasion, but my neighbours can get pissy just because I get all greased up and only wear a thong when I'm doing it.
Yeah, but it's only because you don't invite them to help.
Send pictures.
That is something I don't want to have for a nightmare today.
Loving the 2002 John Drury and Andrew Circus School. Paul is here. Evening, all my favourite car. 1973 Ford Falcon station wagon, which ran on 3 cylinders, had a hole in the radiator and a broken starter motor. It was knackered, but got me all the way around Australia. What fun! Well, that's the first car. Loving your first one there, the 2002. Frank was more about George Michael. Oh, stop it, Charles. Not a Volvo fan, but bought a 6-month-old 244 with a mileage of 800,000. Ex-taxi, still drove like new. There we go. Look, I mean, the Volvos are getting a lot of respect tonight, aren't they? My dad had to sell his Healy. First mention of a Healy tonight, 104. When I turned up, he had. Oh yeah, that's another thing, isn't it? Dads who had to get rid of their cars when the kids were on the way. He had a Singer Le Mans before that, says Ian Turner. My next car will be a Ferrari, driven by none other than Auntie Seppinen. Hold on,
talking about dad's cars, talking about father's cars. My father had a Riley with a pre-selector gear shift on the steering column, and it was a pre-selector was an early kind of automatic. So you selected the gear, but then it didn't change until I can't remember, you kicked down.
Amazingly, my father's first car, he still has it, and it's still his daily driver. A Peugeot 106.
Fantastic. Shout out to Joel's dad. I went on the floor of my mum's Austin Healey convertible. Is that when like babies weren't in baby seats? They were just in a cot on the floor of the car.
Yeah,
I mean, that is what we used to do.
Just shut them in the boot.
Yeah,
I used to sit in the footwell of the passenger car, looking up at my mother.
Yeah, and there would be 8 people in the car, maybe as well on occasion. Just pack them in.
You forgot the ones in the back seat.
Well, I had a lovely bench seat on my Austin Maxi. With you could get 4 kids across that. Totally see Carl in the baby Benz. Yeah, thank you, Victoria. My 190E. Mum says when I was a baby, she'd put me on the floorboards to sleep. Yeah, didn't know if the noise or the fumes.
Yeah, the petrol.
I had my first vanity plate. Vanity plates, yes, on my Brazilian-made Fox. It said Raposa. Very good. She's all about the Portuguese, isn't she? For sure. I had a 1980s Porsche 924 that ended up dying a tough death, only to get a BMW Series 7 that burned up because of electrical problems. Now I have a Land Rover that cost me a lot of money, says Michael Bliss of Michael Bliss Music.
That's because it has a BMW engine also.
Yep, my first car was a Zamboni, and I am currently driving my wife nuts. Is that a joke Charles is making it? Because I don't understand that.
Zamboni, he isn't making a joke. Zamboni is the vehicle that cleans up the ice rink in the middle of hockey games.
Of course. Fix it again, Tony. A Fiat X19. First mention of an X19. That was
it's a Fiat 1-9.
1-9. Time of the Triumph TR7. Yeah, those wedge-shaped cars in robin pink blue with black Targa top was a short-lived but a bit of fun.
Did you hear the story about the TR7 when they first launched it in the Geneva Motor Show?
Go for it.
And they had it on display, and the story goes that Enzo Ferrari himself came to have a look around, and he looked around the car, and he looked down the left-hand side, and he looked down the right, and says, "Mamma mia, they done the same to both the sides."
They managed to match.
Back to the comments. Renault,
You like that one, Joel?
He did. He tickled him. This is Joel's night tonight, and Renault also made the Alpine A110 and the 610, as well as the 310 that we looked at, right?
I've never seen the personally. I only have seen on a classic motor show the A110, but the A610 I only remember seeing one of them back in the early 80s.
They also have, this is the Drury family, also have an 85 S-Type. They're all lined up in a big shed on a farm with a Z3, an old Ford tractor from the 1950s next to them. How lovely is that? Fave car, current car, 2018 custom-built Mini Cooper S with the blackjack top and BRG with Chesterfield leather interior. Ooh, I love her.
Ooh, sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah. My Chamonix-based cousin has an XA120 installing a 3.8 racing block and 5-speed box. It's already quick. So what it'll be like with 300 brake horsepower, I hate to think. You have not included the Ford Zodiac Mark IV. My old man had a Zephyr actually as well.
Oh, they were lovely. My dad had one too.
A Zephyr?
No, Zodiac.
The engine bay was so big, I used to sit in it to adjust the tappets, and I needed to take a blank load out every time I drove in it because it drank so much fuel. A blank
had the spare wheel, didn't it?
Yeah.
Spare wheel was under the bonnet in those.
Yes, it
Bourbon in
was.
hand, John Drury, Old Weller Antique, 107 proof. Enjoy. My Mini was built in Oxford. Final assembly in the Nederlander. John Drury, it really is white with a red leather interior. Fun car. Mum says when she was in her 20s, she worked for the state police and raced other troopers to work in it. Fantastic. Okay, final question of the night. Still want to know what your ultimate car choice is that you could realistically afford to buy and run as a daily. We're gonna pause it on this one tonight, folks. But final question for the evening. Let's start with Colin again on this one. What the car you can afford and realistically run on a daily basis, Colin?
Actually, if I sell my house, the first thing I shall do is buy the new Toyota Yaris GR.
Move your Yaris. Okay.
Yeah, it's the new model, the new release.
It's basically a rally car from the road.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Thank you, Colin. And so that's a little clue that the house is on the market for anybody who would like to buy a very pleasant property in Ericeira this evening. Joel, what a realistic everyday runabout? Well, the best car you'd like to run about.
That is a tough choice for me because I like classic cars, and they tend not to be so reliable for a daily basis. But if I had to pick, I would go with a Datsun 1600 Triple S.
Okay.
For a daily.
Okay, thank you very much. Eric J?
Now that I've become more of just a practical guy, I'd go with a BMW X5. Sorry, Joel.
Okay.
Oh, I like those.
Everyday business. Douglas, what would you do? What will you do?
I don't know. Nice big estate car, I suppose.
Yeah.
My daily runner is a Mondeo, actually, which is quite big, and quite cheap to run because it's diesel.
Yeah. Okay, Mondeo man, you met one.
Like
Yep.
They're
Fair enough.
not releasing many estate cars now. Recently, they haven't been many.
No.
Which is a shame because they tend to be quite good looking.
Yeah. I'm very happy with it, to be honest.
Your ultimate daily car, Carlos.
Alfa Romeo Spider.
Alfa Romeo Spider. Okay, is that going to be your retirement car?
No, because my wife didn't let me buy it. so I have a VH Tiguan.
That brings us full circle. What is a VH?
It's just a business.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
It's a Volkswagen Tiguan. It's a Jeep. It's like a Jeep, not like really a Jeep. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. Well, I don't think you're quite blasé about all the motors you drive. But what would be your ideal daily car?
Well, what he actually the car that he leaves here behind for me to get around if I need to is the V-Class, and I think that is super for the family and friends, and it takes up 6. It's got an in-between table in the middle as well, and it takes 6 at the back, 1 with a passenger at the front and driver, and it's quite comfortable for long drives and everything. It's the ideal car to have.
Is it a Mercedes? Is it V-Class?
Yeah, the V-Class. Yeah, like a people carrier.
That I'm going to have that as well. Then that's the league I need to move into if my kids are getting bigger. Yeah, so V-Class.
Yeah, because you can adjust the back seat and make extra room in the boot as well.
Very good.
So extends your boot size, or you can have it further back and have the table out, and while you're out camping or something, it's ideal as well for when you're away.
Picnic in a lay.
Yeah. If you haven't got somewhere to stay, bed and B or something for the night, you can keep in it.
Very
Sounds brilliant, actually.
I like the sound of that. I like the sound of that. Frank, what would you
Yeah.
have ideally?
I don't mean to piss in everyone's cornflakes here, but I'm not. It's apparent, obviously. I'm not a car guy. I would probably get something that gets me from point A to point B, and a beater probably got 150,000 kilometers in it. I wouldn't mind driving it, and more importantly, what I'm looking at right now is a very sexy bicycle. One of these new electric bicycles that like switch back and forth, so you can go very, very far. That's what I'm into.
Yeah, I'm looking for one too.
Yeah,
yes,
isn't it
they're
funny?
beautiful.
Because
That's what I'm
I don't need a car in Faro. I just need an electric bicycle.
If I get moved to Portugal, the car is not my future. So it's either a Metro card, bicycle, something like that.
You said it, Eric. That's way the future.
And I think if you have got a banger, the sound system's going to be important to you, Frank. I know that.
Oh, absolutely. Sound system will be good. Only thing it will be a huge beater with like 2 speakers in the back and a subwoofer.
Yes, very good. Garvo.
Well, I agree with the Alfa Romeo Spider. I'd always love one of those, but impractical. I'd never get Linda in or out of it, I'm afraid. So I would have to go for a Toyota Land Cruiser VX Amazon.
Beautiful.
Okay. All right. And so there's a lot of love for the Alfa Romeos tonight. Thank you for that, Gary. Ultimate daily driver, the Alfa Giulia Quadrifoglio. Rented a V-Class in Europe. Loved it. Super comfortable. Very economical to drive. I'm going to look into that. Junk in the trunk. I like a big boot, says Charles.
Where is Charles?
Charles.
Come on, Charles. My dog is called Alpha, as I'm not allowed the car. Very good, Andrew. I pick a Defender 110 station wagon. Who makes that? Is that a Range Rover?
Land Rover.
Right.
I had
Land
one.
Rover.
Range Rover.
I had one.
My great uncle had a Vauxhall Ventura. My dad had one of those.
Oh yes.
Yes.
3.3.
3.3 litres, and that burst into flames. My mum was driving it one day. I really like the Mark 1 driven by Speed Racer, says Charles. I got trapped in a sleeping bag in the back of my granddad's Hillman Imp, driving through France in the 1970s. He didn't stop to help me. I cried for what seemed like hours. I'm sorry to laugh, but these are the childhood traumas, aren't they? That you're probably only in there for 5 minutes, but it felt like 3 hours. And
Didn't they have the little pop-uppy rear windscreen, the imps?
Yes, I think they did. He counted himself lucky he didn't end up out through the flip-up window.
That's right, yeah.
Yep. Oh, happy times. Not Triumphs. Greatest hit was a TR7. Was it not a good car? Shape of things to come. I loved that car as a child. I thought I want to get one of those one day. I didn't realise it was a failure. My dad had an old ambulance. He would haul my mum's upright bass and guitar and amp for their jazz gigs. That sounds like a cool family, doesn't it? And I have an image of Carl under his car in his mankini. Can I just share this with you before we go tonight? I've got in a lot of trouble with this gold mankini thing. You saw that, didn't you? Mrs. M is furious that I'm flaunting myself with other women, threatening them that I'll wear it.
You big tart.
What would be your
Not surprised. Not surprised at all.
I think that Mrs.
I blame Frank.
We'll come back to that because I do need your counsel as so-called friends here, right? But Carolina says, yeah, too many motorcycle crashes. Doc's gone now; he's tired. But yeah, this gold mankini thing, right? Because the women are supposed to be starting their lady cave. And I said, I don't believe it. If they do it, I will open it. I'll open their lady cave with my gold mankini on. And like, I noticed how you distanced yourselves from me, Gary and Frank. Let's have this out on air now. Mrs. M, she did a nut on about it. Like, I wouldn't be coming into the man cave with my vag hanging out. How dare you? Blah blah blah. And then when she said that, like Gary and Frank, are like, oh yes, we're not performing monkeys. I would never do that, Mrs. M, kind of thing. And I'm like, on my own, hung out to dry with my gold.
Well, I've got to say, why would you do such a thing? what are you trying to achieve with this? Where are you going? Do they really want to see Carl in the Mankini? Or any of us, really, for that matter?
Well, because I'll tell you why, Gary. Because he's convinced they're not going to do it.
Exactly.
That's why he's daring them. They're not going to do it, and they are not going to do it. And he's completely spot on because he's never going to wear it. First of all, there's no Mankini out there that'll fit this guy. So it's not going to happen.
Exactly.
Well, I don't know. I'm getting a little bit worried, and I thought I could rely on my buddies to come to my aid.
No fear, Carl.
I'm not coming to your aid while your wife is kicking your ass. I'm going to be like, oh, Mrs. M, leave me alone.
When you made the promise, I thought, what are you doing, man? Where are you going with this?
How long it will last the beating?
Okay. Now I'm going to find out who my real friends are in this room tonight, and I'll ask you if you'll step in for me, and it will save me a lot of marital stress, right? If someone else could pick up the mantle of the golden Mankini, because I know Gary and Eric's left the room. As soon as I start to ask an awkward question, he's gone. Gary and Frank have already hung me out to dry. Joel's going, Colin, would you wear a gold Mankini? Would you? No, he would not.
I think Joel would go for it.
Doug's gone. Look, he's disappeared as well.
I think Joao or Carlos would do it. Look at Carlos. Put the camera on Carlos for a second. Put the camera on Carlos for a second.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
He's gonna do it. Look at him. He looks like the Mankini guy. Look at him.
He's not saying no, is he? He's not saying no.
He's not saying no.
Is going to save you, Carl?
Yes.
I will wear it.
Yeah.
I tell you what, as well, they will not be disappointed. Look at him; he's a handsome.
Look at him; he's a handsome fellow. This guy.
A fine specimen, definitely.
And can I ask a slightly personal question? Have you already got a gold Mankini, Carlos?
No.
Okay.
Would you? I'm almost positive that Carlos doesn't know what the Mankini is.
I think he does.
But I will do it. I will do it for you, Carl.
There you go. That's proper brotherhood.
There is my new best friend. Seriously,
I'd
Carlos.
love to see that, especially with some light effects in the background.
You've already got a fan. You've already got a fan here as well. So there you go. I don't
And he's probably the youngest guy in the room too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, probably.
That's going to help. That is definitely going to help.
Yeah.
So, Carlos, I thank you so much. You might have saved my marriage tonight.
Yeah.
It's getting a bit awkward. Gary and Frank were nowhere to be seen. Oh,
What's
yeah.
the moral of the story? What's the moral of the story, Carl?
Don't drink in the man cave and make rash promises, right? Thank you very much, gentlemen. It's been amazing. We'll see you next week.
Thanks,
Okay, guys. We'll take care of yourselves.
That's a rambling finish.
Take care. Don't forget, who's the boss?
Oh yeah, I love this.
Love it, yeah.
Oh no!
She was the boss.